Hello everyone, and welcome to the first update to my journey to building the multi-mirror instacker Jiquani Whispers character. So the first update was at minimum viability, so the build had about 15 divs a budget invested into it. This is now we're pretty good update, so we're about 100, 100 to 10, 115 maybe divines invested into the build, and I will show you what can be done with this. So we should now be rolling a clip of me doing a max juiced feared, and you will see my HP doesn't really dip a lot. So as the clip is going on, I sort of wanted to briefly go over basically the struggle that we're still facing, what the build is good for, what is not good for. So the clear speed is great, of course, the spread DOE. This is a really good breach and ritual farmer, basically. The main issue we have right now is not our survivability, surprisingly. It's not even no longer damage, because we now have pretty decent damage, and we have insane damage in closed arenas, of course. The main issue right now is that my defensive setup relies on specters. You'll see when we go into the details of all the changes we've made. And it's not that we don't survive, but the specters don't survive. So basically, I think I finally somewhat fixed it, but this still probably needs some form of improvement. So if we go over to our setup, as I said, we have completed the phase where we've replaced all our pieces with 10 to 15 divines equivalents. So if we go over our gear, this is the Jiquani that I bought in the previous gear. It's probably going to be my next upgrade. Will try to get like a 6 or 7 int with one or more flat for the increase. Because at this point I have about I have 1650 int, so just getting one more to the roll here would add 160 flat, so that would be pretty good. With a really good int headpiece, we've got Whispers. This was actually a tech that I found out, like, I was just randomly thinking about it and I figured that this would probably be good. You can get a 6% int with no allocated tranquility for like, I don't know, 2 divines or something, as the amulet is now free pretty much. I think we had this already in the previous video, but these are just random cogworks. These are also going to be my next upgrades as I'm switching to helicals right now. They just have a bunch of attributes on them, nothing crazy, and cast speed. The chest is really fat. We have a really fat amount of energy shield right now. We've increased the int. This is notably missing the plus 50 int. Um, it's it's on my list. Eventually, I will get it. Then we have boots. The boots are the cheaper piece at the moment. It's just a bunch of resistances int. Um, we don't even have any movement speed on them. I don't think it's needed because this is how we're moving anyway, so it doesn't really matter like how fast our move speed is. The super endgame version will have tailwind on these boots, but tailwind is 8% increased action speed, and this implicit is 6, which I feel like is pretty much equivalent. So I went for that. Now the belt is really great. We are not switching this until we get a mage blood. So not only does it have everything we want, energy shield, resistances, int, attributes, and damage, it also comes with a socket, which is absolutely insane. Like, look at this: int, cast speed, energy shield, or resistances, and flat. This was a couple of divines. Like, it wasn't really that crazy, but it's like this is like a perfect jewel. Like, everything is pretty much. I cannot think of a better jewel right now. Like, the only thing I would maybe want is more cast speed instead of the resistances. But we will need the resistances soon, as soon as we switch out from the purity of elements setup. So okay, so an absolutely insane belt. And then we have pretty decent gloves, everything we want. So resistances, energy shield, int, and the shaper prefixes, of course. Now, going over to the mercenary, I've done a pretty good setup for him as well. He's also running cogworks, which will eventually become helicals as well, with massive resistances and attributes. This could be better for the resistances, but they're still pretty much. So this is right now without purity of elements, and then you have to add like 50 or 60 to this, so it's pretty much capped. They just got gloves with attributes and increased dexterity, of course. Belt with attributes and increased attributes. Then boots, like he's dropping subs grounded to reduce enemy damage and is regenerating life. Because we did have a massive survivability issue for the mercenary as well. But yeah, and then this shit I crafted myself by combining a base with plus 50 dex, plus 50 int, and another base with the recover life on block. I got a bit unlucky and only, well, I don't know if it's unlucky, but basically only the dex transferred, so I crafted the internet. So this could be another upgrade to scrap another 20 int on this item. The chest is pretty much the same as it was before. Um, I had to say it was really a fucking pain in the ass to craft the implicit for this. Like, especially the raw aura from the Ether World. I think I went through 650 to 700 grand icons. I don't know if that's unlucky or lucky. I have no idea. I have to say that I think I must have seen basically every single other aura modifier before I managed to finally lock into Wrath. So this eventually will get remade. We will get increased attributes on it, or increased intelligence, or increased dex, or something like that. I'm not really much looking forward to doing it, to be honest. So it might stay like this for a while. And then we got a better wand with still the roughing or effect and 36 int, which it did not have before. So this is all the gear. Now moving over to how we're letting our specters and um, our minions survive basically. So first of all, in the last video, I made a big mistake because I thought that you get 3 specters at 3 specter level 22. It's actually at level 25. Luckily for us, this turned out to be only 15 divines or something. Because we do get +1 from here. So this is 21, 22, and then 3 from. Unfortunately, we had to get a level 4 Empower, which is another 10 divines or so. So overall, this costed us, I don't know, 13 divines to get access to our third Spectre. But unfortunately, I have to say it is incredibly worth it. Like, if we don't get one-shotted, we're never dying, because this Spectre not only gives us Discipline, which is another about 100, 1500 or so energy shield, as you can see. But most importantly, it gives us Discipline, which enables then our massive Watcher's Eye that I shown in the previous video, so we get energy shield per minute. So yeah, basically we have still have a massive issue with specters dying. So I figured, so the reason why they're dying, like, seems to me that they're standing in puddles and basically getting hit non-stop. So the way I fixed this, I've modified my castle damage taken setup. And this will get even better if I manage to grab a pair of boosts that have the more duration, that the socketed are supported by level something more duration, because then I could cut this and get efficacy here for even more, for even more skip duration. So basically on our custom damage taken support, we've added Frost Shield together with Immortal Call. So as we're getting damage, and this is a setup, like I've just now decided on this basically as a setup. But as we get more and more damaged, we will proc this, and this will basically like prevent the Spectre from taking damage. Especially because if we're standing still and casting, like Convocation will keep bringing the Spectre back to us, and thus inside the shield. Which I have done. So you've seen the Feared, like they move around there a bit. They manage to survive. I've completed simulacrums with this, which I couldn't do before, which was somewhat frustrating because like we were perfectly fine with like our HP never went below, I don't know, 12k or something, but the specters were dying, and as soon as all your specters die and your mercenary dies, you have no more damage, and then it's basically over. So now this now works. This will get better as soon as I finish leveling this up, of course. And then we've done a bunch of shuffling together with the specters as well. We now we've given up the Onslaught Spectre basically, and instead we shifted Onslaught from to our Silver Flask, and then we sacrificed the armor. The armor flask, and instead we've got the perfect guardian turtle, which of course provides armor as well. So we actually end up with more armor than we started from before. So now we are sitting at 82% fist damage reduction. So now we're sitting at both endurance charges, and then of course you've seen the fortification here. We have also modified our animate guardian, and I'm really proud of this setup right now. I don't seen anyone use this right now. So the Mask of the Stitch Demon, this used to be the best in slot for like Chains of Command builds, because there's this line that regenerates 1% life per second per player maximum energy shield. It used to say per your maximum energy shield. So if you had this in combination with the Necromancer Ascendancy that gave the Spectre energy shield based on the maximum life, would make him like regenerate, I don't know, 80% of his life per second, basically, which of course made it effectively immortal. This has now been changed to be the player maximum energy shield, which really sucks if you're a Necromancer and you have 2k energy shield, but it's actually pretty decent when you're sitting in a comfortable 16,000 energy shield. So this translates to 31% or 32% maximum life generated per second, which I have to say is absolutely plenty. Like the Animate Guardian is the thing to die last. Like he cannot be killed. And since we have so much regeneration from our helm, we now get to run Cavalry Ephemeral, which is of course the final chest you always put on Animate Guardian. But now we get crit immunity, and we get action speed cannot be modified to below value, which also means that we now stun immune, which let us drop the. I have to change this already. Yeah, I can drop this because I am already stun immune. And I should get something else instead. Probably, I don't know. I will see. Maybe crit or something, or additional movement speed maybe. But yeah, basically we are crit immune and we are action speed immune, which let me drop. Maybe you would remember I had this cluster 0 energy shield exclusively to get another energy shield mastery in order to get the energy shield is added to your stun threshold. We're now effectively stun immune because of course being stunned would reduce your action speed. So as soon as the Animate Guardian is somewhat close by, we are stun immune. And of course, like now he's running around, but he does teleport with Convocation. So this is active most of the time. And this also allows us to run Kingsmaker. So we also have Fortification. So that's another 10% less damage taken. And crit multi, of course, and the Culling Strike. So the Culling Strike was the other thing that was provided by the Warlord. So we've basically like recuperated of all aspects of it and brought them back together. So we get the Culling Strike from here. We get the Onslaught from the Flask, and yeah, that's it. And we're still running the extra curse with punishment. The boots give us you can apply an additional curse. Yeah, and so we get more damage when enemies are lower on health, basically. So yeah, this is the setup. I don't think I'm running any other crazy attack right now. We have completed our full circle, of course, with the Light of Meaning. This is a really big chunk of energy shield right now, as you can see. Wait, sorry, this one I meant, yeah, 4k energy shield, basically. We're just running better clusters right now everywhere, but everything else is still the same. I now need the better cluster here, and then after this is somewhat better, we can take out these nodes and then fill up the back side of it, and then grab the last point here with the last one missing, and then our last two levels we just spent getting more and more energy shield here and here, basically. And that would be the build skill tree wise, basically. So to recap everything that we have going on for us, we have a consecrated ground from here and life recovery from here. We have a massive energy shield pool. We have a good chunk of spell block, like 30% from this and the fact that we're using a staff. We are corrupted blood immune from here. We are ailment immune. We are crit immune. We cannot be slow to below base value. We have a good chunk of physical defense. We are ailment immune as well from Purity of Elements. So yeah, I would say that this is pretty good for like 120 divines or so. Like the damage could have definitely be better. But I've like all the upgrades I'm doing now, I can feel them massively spiking my damage. Like when I switch to this cluster, which has the 35% increase effect, I really could feel our damage going up, basically. So I imagine as soon as I drop this one as well for a 35%, yeah, it will also be massive. And I will also be able to grab more points as I'm dropping this wheel over here. So yeah, there's still plenty more of upgrades of course. As I said, we need a better weapon. I need to start swapping this for the edicles for a lot of extra stats. Like for instance, this one is running 66 strength. It used to be necessary because otherwise we did not have enough strength. But as you can see, this is not the problem that we're currently facing. Like if I take this out here, we already at 160, even though we only need, I think, yeah, 111 or 120 for the weapon, I think. Is it 113? Okay. Maybe this one takes more, 115, 155, yeah. So we're already overcapped and we will get all attributes, so of course this will give us even more strength. So yeah, we can swap this for helicals. We can get better gear for the Animate Guardian. We still have optimization on our pieces to do. These small clusters here, the last one already have the 25% increase effect, but I don't think, do I have it on everyone? Oh yeah, I do have it on everyone, but this could be 35%, of course. Yeah, so basically there's still a lot of upgrades to do. One other setup that I have considered is that I do think that eventually when our damage gets a bit higher and we're ready to swap to the Purity of Fire setup, which eventually will come, if we still run into mercenary survivability problems, I think this is the solution. Now, it is annoying. It is an extra button press. However, this basically gives them 45 damage reduction because there's 14% less and then 30% of it is prevented. So 44 overall. This could go to level 21 as well for a bit more, I think. This would substitute, like, if we get rid of the specters, like the Animate Guardian is fine. Like it will survive regardless. So I don't think we're ever dropping him. And this would just be then basically for link. We get 2 more links for free. So I think we're socketing the soul link and more duration eventually. Basically, when the damage is enough. We lose a bit of energy shield from the summon golem. We do lose a bunch of perks from our specters. But we get to have the mercenary survive, which right now the mercenary unfortunately is the weakest link. Like is the first to die even before the specters. I'm not really sure why. Like even as like recover life from block. Now granted he's missing a bunch of spell block, which would probably be a big boost in survivability as I imagine he's getting hit by a bunch of spells, so even like blocking 10% of them wouldn't recover 40% of life. Yeah, so that would probably be the other upgrade. I've seen a level 84 one on the market for like 60 divines, so maybe in the future we'll be doing the very big ones. That could be one. But yeah, I would say that now that the build is pretty good. So yeah, if you want to try it, like it does good damage, it does good clear. You can run Simulacrum, you can run Nightmare maps. In fact, let's even do a Nightmare map right now to finish up the showcase. Just so we can see how we must alive, can be standard charging. Yeah, that's perfect. And let's do the classic abomination here. Just okay, showcase even in a mapping environment. Wait, okay, I couldn't click it. Yeah, you can see us blocking the frost shield there. And actually, this would be an interesting test because I now tried to see if that will make them survive the abomination boss. Because he has this like massive lightning attack that he does. But like, if you look at our HP, it basically never dips. And when it does dip, it recovers very fast. But we do have the issue of like everything else surviving. So you know, like this is not a problem when the damage is high, because like everything is dead. So eventually, like the specters survive. But we basically turn the game into a bit of a DPS check, where yeah, if we can shot everything, then everything is dead and we're fine. But if stuff survives, then it becomes a bit complicated. Not for us, but for the specters, as I said. So let's try the boss, if it's spawning. One. Okay. Yeah, this went very well. No, he's not taking damage? Oh, because we didn't have the mercenary. Okay. Now he's taking damage. Wait, let me see if I can angle myself better here. Yeah. And it's gone. Yeah. Yeah, pretty good build. I felt like my damage could have been higher because I was not positioning properly. Also, what are the mob bots again? Well, it does have 169% more master life, so maybe that also had a bunch of something to do with it, and 4 endurance charges. Yeah, yeah. And maybe they had also a shrine on them. Okay, but yeah, as you can see, like this is pretty good. So if you're curious to try it out, like be my guest, and I will post the POB of course in the description like last time. And bye bye.